Welcome to the Synapse NG with Dr. Akimbobola Otitoju, a platform where we spotlight diverse voices and foster collaboration. Today, we shall spotlight Kofoworola Komolafe, who recently concluded her Siwes at National Biotechnology Development Agency. She will be sharing her experiences with us on the platform. Here is a brief Ms. Komolafe. Kofoworola Komolafe is a final year biochemistry student of the University of Unilorin, distinguished by her growing passion for research and scientific problem solving. She is particularly interested in exploring how biochemical principles can be translated into practical solutions that address real-world challenges. Kofoworola is committed to academic excellence and continuously seeks opportunities to broaden her skills through hands-on research and collaborative scientific engagements. Guided by her faith in God, she aspires to contribute meaningful, positive, and sustainable change within her community and beyond, leveraging science as a tool for advancement, innovation, and societal well-being. Kofo, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So how are you doing today?
So I'm doing absolutely great. And you, sir?
Yes, I'm fine. Great to see you again. So,
Likewise, sir.
congratulations on the 50th anniversary of the University of Ilorin. So, Unilorin is known as a better by far university. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree with it because the Better by Far motto is not just a motto, it's not just a saying.
Okay.
They actually do their to make sure that students are gaining experiences that would serve as a way for them to connect with the real world after school. So when they say better by far, even though they do have some challenges like other institutions do as well, but they are trying their best, and it's safe to say that their efforts are actually quite commendable.
Okay. I guess you're talking more like the ambassador of the university. That is great. So how did you feel when you first got the opportunity to study biochemistry at the University of Ilorin?
So if I'm being honest, it wasn't actually a course that I chose to study. It wasn't my first choice of course. I wanted to study physiotherapy. So when I saw I was transferred to biochemistry instead, if I'm being honest, I was very scared. I I'm not actually a fan of chemistry. Anything that has to do with chemistry, I do not like it. So me seeing about chemistry, I was like, me that I don't like chemistry, how do they want me to study this or how do I cope with it and all? But as God will have it with his help, it's safe to say that I've grown into liking the course. If I may add, loving the course actually, because I do prefer the course to the other courses that we do borrow from, or the other department that we do borrow from. And it actually has piqued my interest because I find it really fascinating how life works and
Hmm.
how our body conducts a lot of functions in order to make sure that life is sustained in us.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm happy to hear that you have finally found biochemistry interesting. Oh, you had your
Thank
SIRES, your student industrial work experience scheme at the National Biotechnology Development Agency. So why
Yes,
NABDA?
sir.
Why? Why did you choose NABDA?
Okay, sir. So I was actually just researching on institute because I think it's well known that in Nigeria we don't really have a lot of options for biochemistry students to do their place of industrial training. They don't really have options for biochem students to do their IT. So it was actually like quite a challenge before I was able to get one place. And stumbling at NAFDA, I was a bit skeptical because I knew nothing about biotechnology then. So I went on the website, I read like what I could find on the website, and I was actually intrigued because what I was seeing was relating with the goals that I started having for myself
Okay.
as at my second university.
Oh, okay. So that was more like opportunities falling in line with your desires. Oh, all right.
Yes,
So how did your time at NABDA? I understand you were at Medical Biotechnology Department. So would you
yes,
like to
sir.
share some of the exciting or challenging tasks that you handled?
Okay, so for the exciting task, I think it was when we had the hands-on um task with an ongoing project that is still ongoing currently. Me learning about basic computational tools because I actually had no idea about all those kind of tools. I was only exposed to the wet lab in my school, and my school being famous for always wanting wet lab practicals. That was literally the only thing about. So coming to a place where we had digital, everything was digitalized, where the whole thing was, it was actually looking strange. So if I'm being honest, I was actually scared, but it was actually fun learning about um computational tools that can be used in research because these things make lab work a lot easier to do. Also learning about um certain aspects of genetics as well and bioinformatics because like I said, there were things I was not exposed to throughout my 2.5 years in school
Okay,
before the
okay. So I was actually going to ask about the skills that you acquired, but now that you have touched on that, I also remember that you were one of the team leaders. I think there were about three groups, and then
yes,
and I think it pushed you into a leadership role that you were not prepared for. So, how was your
yes.
experience leading that team? And if I may ask, are you still in touch with some of them?
Okay, so my experience leading the team was actually something I was not expecting because I for one I'm a shy person. I'm very reserved and extremely introverted. So coming to work, all that was on my head was do what any assignment that they give you to do, submit it, explain
Uh-huh.
it properly if you are asked to explain. So I think looking at that, Miss Lisby actually picked an interest in the way I was doing, and probably she saw more potential that I had more to offer. So me being forced into that role showed me how to cater to responsibilities outside the home.
Mm.
Because being a first child, I only know I think in terms of responsibility, if anyone asks me, do you know what it means to be responsible? I think I can only say I know how to be responsible when it comes to the things that has to do with the family
Okay.
or the house or all. For having to be responsible for people that I do not stay with, that had different personalities, different opinions, it was actually quite challenging because I had to make sure that if I was to have conversations with them, I had to steer it in the right direction so it won't cause conflict.
Mm.
If I thought there were actually conflicts that do arise, I had to look for how to curb it and quickly resolve it before it turns to something that will escalate. And also, I had to have patience. I
Mhm.
had to have a lot of patience.
Okay, so looking back,
Yes, sir.
would you say you were happy that you led that team, or you wished you never
Oh,
had to?
yes.
Okay.
No, oh,
Okay.
yes. I was actually very happy because I think even the changes that I was undergoing while leading were changes that even everyone at home noticed. Because I remember my mom saying that, oh, your confidence is coming back.
Mm.
You're not always acting as timid as you used to. That most times when I'm explaining, this was what we did at work today, this was what we did at work today, she finds it quite amusing because she cannot remember the last time I actually spoke up or was that excited about something I was doing.
Oh, great. So I had one of your friends on the show recently, and I threw up this question, which I'm going to also ask you. Some years
Okay,
back,
sir.
when I had my own Siwes, I actually did mine at Nigerian Stored Products Research Institute in Ilorin. And
Okay.
a classmate of mine, who also happened to be my roommate back then, did his own IT at a bank. So he got some money, but at the research institute, I wasn't paid. And when he came back, he was richer while I had a bit of experience. And I've been thinking, maybe I should have gone for the money too, or would I have lost anything? So if I may ask you, I know that you were not paid at NAFDA. So if you had
Yes, sir.
a second chance, would you still choose a research institution, or you would rather go for the money where you have been paid, even if you are not
So I
getting
think
paid?
if I'm being honest, I'll still choose the research institution because, sir, I don't know how to explain what I gained, how it's helping me now in my final year in school.
Okay.
It's so funny that my project for my final year has to do with ulcer, which was one of the things
Oh,
that we worked in our Siwes. So it's
mm,
actually, and the fact that we also have to do things like biosimulation, molecular docking, and all. I feel like I have an upper hand, and I don't think if I had gone to somewhere where they are paying me, I would have actually had the opportunity to learn because there, in places like that, it's literally like you are an actual staff member. So if they want to work you to the bone, they will do it because why? They are paying you.
yeah.
And I don't feel I'm happy staying in such a place where I'm not really learning anything or doing anything that is new and exciting.
So if you were to advise your junior students, probably those in 300 level, 200 level, as regards their student work industrial scheme, so about the choice of where they would carry out their IT, their 6 months. So what advice would you give to them?
The first and foremost and the most important one is for them to know God and hold him there because if I'm being honest, this student training IT is something that exposes you to real life situations. And if care is not taken, it's possible for one to easily get frustrated because it's not something that you are used to as a student. Even though one might feel, oh, being in the university, you're only exposed to those kind of things to a certain level. In school, it's not like we have any like crucial tasks given to us before the period of our project and also having to handle all those things. One needs to know God and hold him there. The second thing is to be curious, but not in a bad way that will land one in trouble.
Okay.
The next thing is to always ask questions. If things are not clear, it doesn't make one stupid to ask questions. It just shows that you are teachable and you are ready to learn.
Mm.
The third, the fourth one is to be diligent with any task or assignment handed to you. Yes, it might be time consuming. Yes, you might feel, oh, you don't really have time to yourself again. Yes, you might feel, this thing is stressful. In fact, I don't want them to give me anything. But these are things that at the long run, it will be of vital use to you and
Mm.
of importance. And I'm speaking from experience because if I actually wasn't handed all the tasks that I was assigned to do, I don't think I would have actually learned anything. Because most of the things that we've learned now were things that I actually even had no, I didn't even know how to use Microsoft very other than typing. I don't know how to use it very well. PowerPoint slide was when we were doing the seminar presentation. That was when I even learned how to use the PowerPoint slide. It's safe to say that all those things, even spreadsheets.
Mm.
So literally, this was literally my first time using a spreadsheet as well during my CUS. So it's not only about learning concept that has to do with the classroom, but you also applying those concepts taught in the classroom into real life situations and activity. It's not every course that, or it's not every lecturer that will teach you, oh, this is how to use pressure, because these are things that they already assume that you should know by now if you're already in university.
Mhm.
So be open to learning. Make sure that you make yourself teachable and ready to learn and gain. because it will actually go a long way. I'm really, really grateful that I did my Siwes at NAFDA, and I wouldn't have it any other way, if I'm being honest, because I can say that at least I know how to navigate this final year now based on the things I've learned already.
All right, that's heartwarming.
Jumping up and down.
Hmm.
Because initially we were meant to work on tones. So when our supervisor called us and was like, you know what, he has actually worked on ulcer, but he has not finished the work. He wants us to do another one. So we'll be working on aspirin-induced ulcer, and if our resources are enough and time permits us, we'll also be working on Helicobacter pylori-induced ulcer as well. So these are I'm happy I have at least I have background knowledge on them already.
Hmm. That's true. But one question. I also asked your colleague
Yes,
about
sir.
this. So what role can institutions like NAFDA play in mentoring or supporting students beyond Cyrus? Most times after Cyrus is done, that will be it. The students will go their way, the institutions remain apart. What do you think institutions, okay, can continue to do in mentoring students even beyond the program?
Okay, sir. I think the first and most important thing is to make mentorship programs available to students, because being in a university setting myself, I'm not really free with my lecturers like that. So I don't think there will be any issues that I will have that I will go and meet that, oh, I want to discuss this with a lecturer. So if the place of work where one did their IT can provide that kind of support, I feel like it will go a long way, especially with students that are returning back to school for their final year because of the whole stress and all, because all these kind of things they will need someone to navigate, and most lecturers at this time are actually busy already. So mentorship program is.
I know that you were exposed to a lot of staff of the
Yes, sir.
National Biotechnology Development Agency, and I know that some of them we see this program, and also some of your colleagues, your fellow students. So I want to give you
Yes, sir.
the opportunity, all right, to reach out to as many of them as you can remember, all right? I'm glad that we are doing this, and just to encourage some of them who were of great help to you, all right? So over to
Yes.
you.
Okay, sir. So the first person I would like to thank is Mrs. Lizzie, because she did not give up on us. She was more than a mentor. She was literally like a mother. Not even like a mother. She was a mother to us. Though we were annoyed, we literally annoyed her. There were times where she would get angry. She would say, in fact, I'm not teaching people again, but she did not give up on us. And it's safe to say that because of her love and the way she did not relent in teaching us, the way she did not relent in making sure that we became better versions of ourselves. It's literally telling in our results already for our Siwes. So I really want to appreciate her, because I don't think other people would have been able to do what she did. Secondly, I would also like to thank you, sir, Dr. Akin, because if you did not teach me how to conduct research and review and how to differentiate between the two, I don't think I'll be navigating this whole seminar and project issue now in final year. I don't think, because they've actually not taught us yet. And also because you were able to teach us that, I was able to understand how to conduct research properly, how to also document and report properly like a scientist. So thank you so much, sir, for your time as well, and for always having the time to answer any questions that we had. I really appreciate
A
you, sir.
pleasure.
And I think colleagues, to Marvelous, to I am, to Deborah, to Aisha, and many others that I work with. And Omar, I'm really, really grateful to you guys because you made this training worthwhile. I am not one to actually like tend to maintain relationships like that after I'm done with like a particular program, but thanks to them, I actually realized that it's actually not bad to work as a group or to have support system too
Mm.
as people. So I'm grateful to them as and every other member so that I did not call their name that worked properly with me. Thank you very much.
Wow. All right. This has been wonderful. Thank you for coming on the show.
Yes,
Very soon. And I actually look forward
okay,
to
like
seeing you at the very, very top. So it's been nice talking to Kofo
thank you so much.
Rola Komolafe Gabriela. And it's been wonderful. And I actually look forward to having more of her type in our institution, making the best use of the opportunities in their environment. And until we see you again, please share, subscribe, and remain curious. Bye for now. Go for bye.
Thank you so much. Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.